The Age of Innocence, written by Edith Wharton, was published in 1920. The novel won the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 1921. This was the first time the award was bestowed upon a woman. The story is set in 1870s New York, where a strict, unwritten code governed a vast majority of social interactions. At the top of this social hierarchy sat the twin divinities of taste and form, dictating what you wore, who you spoke to, and precisely what constituted acceptable behavior. Newland Archer is perfectly content within this system. Sitting in the Academy of Music, he gazes across the theater at his pure, innocent fiancée, May Welland, confident that his future is as ordered as the architecture around him. That certainty shatters when May's cousin, Countess Ellen Olenska, arrives in New York, fleeing an abusive European marriage. In a world that dreads scandal more than disease, Ellen's quest for independence transforms her into a severe liability for the entire family. To protect their social standing, the family deploys Archer to fix the problem. His objective is to talk Ellen out of seeking a formal divorce and keep the family name out of the papers. The plan backfires. Spending time in her unconventional home, Archer listens to Ellen describe a life without artificial constraints. He realizes her desire for freedom mirrors a suppressed longing within himself, and he falls deeply in love. Loving Ellen threatens Archer's very survival in this world. To be with her, he would have to reject the duty, decency, and form that defines his identity and his social class. Terrified of his growing feelings for Ellen, Archer accelerates the timeline. He pushes May to marry him months ahead of schedule. He hopes the literal vows and heavy obligations of marriage will act as a shield, permanently walling him off from the temptation Ellen represents. But the shield quickly becomes a straitjacket. Archer sits across from his new wife, realizing life with May is suffocatingly predictable and entirely devoid of intellectual liberty. When he finally reunites with Ellen, his restraint shatters. He confesses his love and declares his desperate wish to wipe out the past entirely and escape with her. Ellen refuses. She understands that any happiness they built together would require the cruelty and disloyalty of abandoning the innocent May. Archer's attempt to use society's ultimate institution to cure his rebellion failed. He succeeded only in locking himself inside a permanent prison. Archer eventually reaches his breaking point. He decides he must break off his marriage to May, regardless of the vicious social fallout. Before he can act, May preempts him. She hosts a grand opulent farewell dinner, announcing to the entire room that Ellen is suddenly and inexplicably returning to Europe. Once the guests leave, May tells Archer exactly why her cousin is leaving. May went to Ellen privately and shared the news that she is pregnant with Archer's child. The timeline reveals a calculated deception. May admitted to telling Ellen she was pregnant well before she had confirmation from a doctor, inserting the lie at the exact moment required to force the Countess away. May never raised her voice or caused a public scene. The seemingly innocent wife masterfully weaponized the faint implications of their society to eliminate her rival and trap Archer in his duty forever. 30 years pass. The rigid, gaslit world of 1870s New York is swept away by a faster, modern era. May has recently died after a conventionally happy life. Archer has spent those intervening decades quietly fulfilling his duty to his family. As Archer and his adult son prepare for a trip to Paris, Dallas casually brings up a name from the past. He mentions they are going to visit Countess Olenska. Then Dallas reveals one final family secret. On her deathbed, May told her son she knew all along about Archer's sacrifice, thanking him for giving up the thing he wanted most. For decades, Archer assumed his silent agony was his own secret. In reality, his wife saw his struggle every single day and simply chose to look the other way to preserve the form of their marriage. Father and son arrive in Paris, standing on a wide tree-lined street outside the apartment building where Ellen Olenska now lives. Dallas walks into the building to meet her. Archer tells his son to go up without him and sits down alone on a park bench. Staring up at Ellen's balcony, Archer realizes his life has slipped away. He has finally become the man he once feared, a man to whom nothing was ever to happen. He chooses to walk away without ever seeing her again. He prefers to keep his idealized, uncorrupted memories of Ellen rather than face the real woman upstairs. Newland Archer's ultimate tragedy lies in the moment he is finally offered his freedom and chooses the safety of the illusion instead. He walks away, proving that the rules of his youth have finally become his nature.